Welcome to your doom. Shut it and get over here. Massive uppercut!
Hello and welcome to another edition of the JabJab Show. Today I'm reviewing the film Doctor Strange. Just before we start, I'd like to apologise for not being able to watch many films at the cinema recently. So hence my channel has not been full of these cinema releases. But here I am now. I've watched a few since, so let's get started. So Doctor Strange is directed by Scott Derrickson, who's behind The Exorcism of Emily Rose, the remake of The Day the Earth Stood Still, and Sinister 1 and 2. So the film stars Benedict Cumberbatch, Tilda Swinton, Benedict Wong, Rachel McAdams, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and Mads Mikkelsen. Okay, so you're probably all wondering, is this a prequel to Doctor Strangelove? As in Doctor Strange before he gets his girlfriend. The answer is no. It's a Marvel film set in Phase 3. So the story is Benedict Cumberbatch plays Stephen Strange, who's this brilliant yet arrogant neurosurgeon. He gets into a horrible car crash, becomes severely injured. When he comes to, he becomes obsessed with regaining the use of his hands, for his work and whatever. So, he goes on to this initial treatment, in order to do so. That proves a bit fruitless or whatever. So he then later learns about this paraplegic who then somehow regained ability to use his limbs again. So he finds this person. He's then instructed to go to Nepal to find this strange sorcerer known as the Ancient One, who agrees to help Stephen Strange, give him teachings and whatever, how to learn how to heal and about other dimensions and how to manipulate certain things and whatever. It's all very magical and all the rest of it. When I first saw the trailer, I thought, yeah, this looks visually really good. A lot different from what Marvel has done in the past. I thought it was a bit like Inception, the way that the whole buildings are falling into each other and all scenery and everything being twisted and whatever. I didn't know how it's gonna fit in with the whole other Marvel stuff that's going on, which is relatively shot quite conventionally. So I don't know if we've seen a dream or flashback or what we've seen here, but it looked pretty cool. It seemed more like a risky, venture for Marvel. Kind of like what I felt was like Guardians of the Galaxy. You look at that film and you think, got a talking raccoon, it's got a talking tree, it's got all these weird, wonderful characters. It's set in some distant cosmos or something, and it's literally worlds away from anything they've done, which is usually all earthbound kind of thing. Obviously that money, the critics and all that, they've proved that Guardians of the Galaxy works, and obviously there's a sequel coming out, and also Ant-Man as well. I thought initially before watching Ant-Man, I thought, how are they going to make this work? A man who can shrink to the size of an ant, what's this, how is it going to do it? But for me it largely worked. It was a fun film or whatever, so taking that on board, even though I don't know how the visual side of things look amazing, I didn't know how it would kind of fit in with everything else. But because of these other films that are initially risky, I felt because they worked, I have faith in Marvel. The film does explain quite well, how and why the manipulation and the bending of buildings and stuff makes sense, and how some of these people, main characters are able to do such things, how they can manipulate certain planes of existence, and all the rest of it. It's a visual treat for the eyes. It's really well done and told and so on. I did think, at the time, the first time it happened in the film, even though obviously I've seen the trailer of it, the first time it happened in the film, I know that this building was bending around and the parts of the wall were shifting about and stuff. I just thought, what if you're in that building at the time? What happens to you? If you're on the toilet at the time it happens, and you end up upside down, and the bath and the sink and everything else is kind of folding in on itself, becomes a cube or something. How would you then, let's say the following day, obviously it's a weird experience, how would you then explain what happened to the insurers? Would you say my bathroom's like the ending of Labyrinths? With all the stairs leading upside down on the side and all that's like an Escher painting. How do you explain that? It's just a thought that I had when going into it. It doesn't really it doesn't really have the angle of the people inside buildings when this happens, and the fallout of all the stuff's destroyed as a result. I really like Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. I thought he did really well with I'll start with the arrogance and all the rest of it, and then when he does start doing his training with the Ancient One, his mind is blown with everything, and a lot of things he learns to learn. He starts after his initial training, he begins to kind of talk to people a bit differently, starts to listen a lot more and so on. So it's a good little arc he's got. I do feel also the acting is pretty solid throughout as well, across the board. I would say it surprised me how funny it is. The film is at times. Rachel McAdams' character, has a fair few of these moments. She plays a surgeon next to a Doctor Strange, and they have a little history together. I don't really want to spoil anything for you, but they have good chemistry. It does feel to me like she's like the Pepper Potts to his Iron Man in this. They work well together, good chemistry and all the rest of it, and the hints at certain things that may have happened in the past. Aesthetics aside, it seems like quite formulaic in storytelling terms. For a Marvel origin story. To say all you need to do is replace the word iron with magic kind of gives it a bit of disservice, to be honest. There are a few diversions. For example, there's a character who's established who quite near the end is revealed to be not quite all what they seem. There's also a great scene, near the end as well, where Doctor Strange comes up against this big bad thing, and he's got this device that can manipulate time, and he uses it in order to get his own way and so on, to make a deal. And the way it all plays out I find it really funny. Did remind me of there's a scene in Groundhog Day when Phil, Bill Murray's character, walks into a bar and he starts talking to Rita, played by Andy McDowell. And within the scene there's multiple takes, and each subsequent take he alters his dialogue, he adds a bit more and so forth, and he uses it to connect with Rita a little bit more. I also like the effect of using the astral plane. Doctor Strange is shown how to manipulate the astral plane. There's a fight in a hospital. It looks like between two ghosts, and pretty much that's what it is. I liked how they can manipulate things in the so-called real world, whatever. I just like the little thing about that. So in the end, I really like the film. Some really good visuals in there. The fight sequences and all that was really well done. The action scene's good. The way it's the scenery is manipulated around, it explains all that really well. This could have easily been like watching a textbook or something. All I would say was it just had that little deja vu about it. It's like too similar to a lot of the other origin stories Marvel has done before. So them's my opinions. What's yours? And yours and yours. Just let me know down below in the comment section down that way. So who's your favourite Doctor in movies? Just let me know. You're all down there. So like, subscribe, comment and all the rest of it. And tell your friends and everything. And like the new Cyrus says, send the word.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.